sat down and decided to start writing my icebreaker speech, I decided to start out by writing a list of all the different things that define my life. I started with where I grew up, my family, my friends, what my hobbies are, where I went to school, and I went from there. And I decided if I just went along and talked about all these different things, then you probably would have a very mixed bag of who I am. So I looked for a common theme, something to pull the speech together. And I found, surprisingly, maybe not so surprisingly, that the theme ended up being turf grass. I thought about at first calling it grass, but I thought people might get the wrong idea, so I went with turf grass. And it turns out that sometimes you don't exactly plan what is going to be a theme in your life. Sometimes those themes in your life just kind of happen, for better or for worse. And in my case, I feel like turf grass has been a good influence in my life, and I'll go on to explain that. Turf grass first came into my life when I was a young child, and my dad was a professor in turf grass at Kansas State University, and they had a research plot in Manhattan, Kansas. And I remember lots of days when I was a young child going out to the fields, digging holes, planting grass, and basically his job was to test different things on it and see how it reacts to different situations. I'd spend days out there, not just myself and my dad, but also my two younger sisters and my mom. And sometimes it was very hot. I learned what hard work was. The activities would range, but I enjoyed it, and it was the first experience I had with turf grass. So how did it continue in my life? Well, I actually played two sports when I was a child. First being baseball, and I was pretty undersized. I couldn't throw a very stupendous fastball, so I decided that I would switch to golf, which luckily I had a little more talent in, and both the games being played on grass, you can see the trend continuing. I then decided to take golf to another level. When I got to high school, I realized that was the sport I wanted to stick with, and it's been a huge influence on my life. I played in high school, and I also played for Rockhurst University in college, and I can honestly say that the values you learn in golf have been a huge influence in my life. I still try to play as much as I can, although Ryan Tree can sometimes cut into those golfing experiences. So it's been a little bit of an adjustment, but that's just a big part of my life. In Rockhurst University, I went on to get a marketing degree. And after that, I got my MBA. But while I was at Rockhurst, somehow grass was still influencing my life. Larry Ryan, the owner of Ryan Tree, one day called up my dad and said, "Hey, is your son still in marketing?" And he goes, "Well, yes, but he's also going to school and playing golf right now, so I don't know how much he can help you." But luckily, Larry was nice enough to let me work as an intern at Ryan. And I started there in marketing, and after I got my MBA, I'd been there for about a year and a half, and I decided, well, it's about time that I start working outside again, because I'm definitely an outdoors person, and I realized that after working around the guys all the time outside. So next week, I'm actually starting in a route with Ryan Tree with a new title, Turf Manager. So, as you can see, turf is still following me in my life. And you may be wondering, how is that going to continue in my life? Well, in May 10th, I'm getting married to my fiance, Katie James, who's a nurse here in Kansas City. So 2 months away, we're very excited for the trip down to Cancun afterwards. And somehow turf is still going to be following me for the rest of my life. It just so happens that her father, Randy James, happens to own a lawn and tree company in Manhattan, Kansas. So no matter how my career goes around, I'll always know that I'll be talking turf when I get back to talking with him. So I know that'll always be a part of my life. And sometimes you don't expect these things to happen. I remember when I was in high school, my dad used to tell me, "Oh, you'll end up working with grass someday." And I used to say, "Oh, I'm getting a marketing degree. I'm not going to end up working with grass." And here I am, a turf manager at Ryan Tree, and I'm very happy about it. So sometimes those themes in your life, they work out for the best.